How far would you go in pursuit of your dreams? If you had to start over after society deemed you successful, if you couldn't hide inside the box any longer and had to be courageous, how far would you go to be unboxed?
The idea came from my chief curators, my co-creators. I asked the question and they were the ones that were like, we should do this. And I think it's a little nod to all those years of blogging and YouTube being all about the home and entertaining. But I think what's important is the message always of the blog was about celebrating everyday moments and not milestones. And so I used to talk about it a lot, where it was like, it doesn't matter if it's like, a Monday night and you just want to open that nice bottle of champagne over your coffee table, or you want to host a dinner party, like just celebrate, because it's all about sharing with others. And so when I asked the question for the first time, I'll be honest, I never thought that they would ever say champagne glass. I just, for whatever reason, now that I look back and I'm like, duh, of course, but and it makes me so happy that they did, but I definitely did not think that. And that's what's interesting about direct to consumer, is we can have that conversation and whatever they want is what ultimately we will launch, because it's all about them being the voice. Yeah, it's nice to be celebrating the brand, like it's almost like this little hero SKU, right? It's all about like celebrating. The first meeting of the first design for the first product launch, yeah, that's when you hear it, it just feels a little bit scary, right? No pressure.
Think about champagne, basically, there's a few like outliers out there, but it falls into three main styles.
I like a coupe, because I think, again, it brings that like timeless feel to it, but it can be done very more modernized. And I love a thin stem. So unlike old world, like when they used to do these back in the day, they were shorter and thicker. Yeah. I actually like long and slim.
There was an awful lot of inspiration on the board you sent us. And for us now, I think, to try and get inside your head to figure out what exactly is in line with your vision. So what we've kind of pulled together from the inspiration you sent us was three kind of sort of subcategories, which would be that clean, modern, kind of borderline almost trendy, that kind of minimalist kind of thing, which you see a lot now, but is also very, very timeless in lots of ways. So it'd be a minimalist or simple kind of style. You've got clean, simple lines and forms, its essential geometry. And then ultimately we've got kind of contemporary and modern kind of styles, which would be bold, imposing, a little bit of texture in there as well.
Yeah, and I guess, hearing what you said earlier, Cafe, I'm going to say like number three is like totally wrong.
100%, although I'll be honest, I love this glass.
Right.
And I think it's because of the texture. It goes back to that like, it just, but you're right, 100%. Number three is off. And for number two, I don't like anything that looks Art Deco-y.
Okay.
And I think sometimes
texture can fall into it.
Exactly. So that's why you're absolutely right. I think that's why it's always tricky for me, because when I say texture, I don't mean like this like sort of etching, sort of Art Deco-y sort of.
Art Nouveau, nothing, the nature or inspired.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's texture, not pattern.
I love that. Yes, texture, not pattern.
What I was particularly curious about was like drilling down on elements. So even within like the classic coupe bowl shape, there's a lot of differences there.
So I like this
shape.
On
the bowl or on the stem?
I actually like all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that the stem is very thin and long.
Okay.
I like the bowl shape. I think it's a very classic bowl shape. I love this one. Like, if I had to pick out of all of this, I know this is so weird because this is definitely not me. I'm not by. It's my favorite. It's classic with a really big twist, and I think it looks really special. Okay. Like I think I can't imagine this on my table for sure.
So, I mean, the design process is definitely a very extensive and intricate one. But yeah, so once we decided what we were going to kind of go for, and once we asked, you know, kind of what we were thinking about for this brand, right? What we were thinking that Endlessly Elated should stand for. And it's interesting because there's such amazing companies out there, homeware companies, that are really focused on certain time periods or aspects. So, you know, there's mid-century companies, there's companies all dedicated to like what we call the modern farmhouse. And for Endlessly Elated, once we got the conversation going, it was really about being timeless. And so when I was talking to them, and I'm sure you'll see because we just, you know, a couple of weeks ago we went to that meeting, is that I was like, I wanted to be the Jackie O of homeware. And what I mean by that is, if you look at Jackie O, when Jackie O was alive, she was so timeless, right? Whatever she wore then, she could totally wear now, and it would be just the same. It was in that moment, it was amazing, and in today's world, it would be amazing. And so I want Endlessly Elated to stand for that, for sure.
If you think of the glass, would you describe it as feminine, is there some sort of character or?
Yeah, I would think like Jackie O.
Talk to us a little bit about materials then. So, you know, you were vehemently opposed to, like you said, like I would never do a gold step or something like that. Is there any world where there's any color or any other material that's incorporated into this glassware line, or is it pure glassware and texture in the glassware?
I think it's pure glassware.
Okay. To my mind, I know where we need to go on this. Now, obviously, what we're going to do is like show you, you know, some design options as like sketches and renders and that type of thing. For, you know, for the whole line, the white wine, red wine, and the champagne. But when we do finally get into CAD and all that kind of stuff, so this is actually 3D printed in clear. If needs be, before we actually, you know, go to production and all that kind of stuff, we can get something which gives us like a little bit of a feel for what it's going to look like in reality. This is really helpful. So I think in terms of next steps, you need to just kind of let us go away and do our magic a little bit.
No, the meeting with Prime went great. The expectation as I went into it is obviously that they will deliver, but we'll see in the next meeting. The next meeting, they'll go ahead and reveal what they've come up with and what they think based on the feedback that we as our community provided them. So I'm really excited though. They've been amazing to work with. Patience. I need patience. I am very particular with things, so it's nice for someone to understand that and work with me.